Coming up on City Spotlight, we continue the start of Season 12 as we feature a new episode on Charleston. First, we catch up on Charleston Schools with Chad Burgett, Superintendent of Charleston Schools, and Kristen Holly, Assistant Superintendent of Charleston Schools. Chad and Kristen will tell us about various programs and activities here in the Charleston School District. And we'll learn about the latest facility improvements with Charleston Schools. Then we'll have a segment on Eastern Illinois University, specifically EIU Athletics. We'll sit down with EIU Athletic Director Tom Michael. Tom will tell us about the role that EIU Athletics has on the city of Charleston. And Tom will go over the various sports venues that EIU Athletics performs in, including the renovated McAfee Gym for EIU Volleyball. We're talking Charleston Schools and Eastern Illinois Athletics on this latest episode on Charleston, here on City Spotlight. City Spotlight on WEIU TV is underwritten by the Illinois Arts Council, a state agency. And hello and welcome to another edition of City Spotlight. As you can see, we are inside for this latest episode featuring Charleston. Two segments on Charleston here in this episode being taped on September 29th. We're going to talk Charleston Schools here in the first segment, and welcome back to the program to help us out. Two familiar guests, Chad Burgett, Superintendent of Charleston Schools. Chad, always great to see you.
Good to see you, and thanks for having us.
As always, great as well. And Kristen Holly, Assistant Superintendent of Schools. Kristen, always a pleasure.
Great to see you too. Thanks for having us.
Glad to be back here at the Charleston Schools District offices. A little bit different room for this occasion, but it's enjoy it very much. So glad to be taping with you guys here on September 29th. Last time on with Chad and Kristen was May of 2024, so long overdue. We're taping here about, a month and a half into the new school year. So tell us how it's going.
I think we're off to a good start. As you mentioned, a month and a half. We have the end of the quarters coming up in just a couple of weeks. Then we'll have parent-teacher conferences soon. I think teachers and students and even parents are back into a routine after following the summer, and things are going pretty smoothly, I think.
Yeah, I think it's been a really good start. Really, yep.
Okay, very good. I'm one of those parents. I'm definitely in the routine. Very good. I know you guys want to talk about a few things here, and let's start with the Family Resource Fair.
Yeah, that was the early part of September. We did that event last spring in March, and we decided this year to do that in the fall. We got some feedback from parents that they would rather have that information in the fall. So we pulled off another really successful 2-day event. We had 5 food trucks outside. We had an entire, the cafeteria at the high school filled with our community resource groups that came to share resources with our families. And then in our media center, we had Charleston staff members providing information about various services we provide, empower different high school industries. We also had people from Lakeland and Eastern there. It was a really successful event. We had over 550 people.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was going to ask how the turnout was.
It was really, we did well.
I couldn't make it to this year's. My wife did, but I went to last year's, and it was packed. There was a lot going on.
We had a lot of students show up with their families, and we had more older students come this year, which we really tried to get some older kids in, and I think it went well. We'll do it again.
I want to give
Chris. Is this something that has been gone on every year, or is this something new?
This was the second year, and I really want to give Mrs. Holly and her team the credit for that. A lot of time and effort went into preparing for that, as well as I want to say thank you to all the businesses who supported the event, and they offered many giveaways for raffles and things like that just to draw some interest. So thank you to the community for their support in that as well.
Yes, big thanks. That event is not pulled off without a lot of support from our community and businesses, and we have a committee that works really hard. So it's a very successful event thanks to a lot of hard work from a lot of people.
Not just called a Family Resource Fair, but sounds like a great community gathering.
It is. We're planning to continue it. There's been enough interest in it that we'll continue to do it.
Off to a good start. So
Yeah.
look forward to the third one next year. I know we've talked about it on this program, and I've heard some great things about it, Trojan Industries at Charleston High School.
Thanks for asking about that. That's something that's really evolved over the last 2 or 3 years, and with the renovations we've had at the Trojan A&M Center. Trojan Industries has really taken off. There's 6 subsidiaries, and those are the A&M Center, Trojan Brew, Trojan. They have a detailing business. They have a print shop, bakery, and I'm going to look here, the greenhouse. So these are student-ran businesses. So community members from throughout the year may come in and order a T-shirt, or if you go to the plant sale, that's usually in April or May. Those are students literally deciding what plants to buy, how to set the prices. If they're not selling, making adjustments, just like business owners have to do. So a lot of work goes into it. It's student-led, and our community has been very, very supportive of this program. One of the projects, the biggest project this year that the A&M Center will be working on, is they're going to build 2 tiny houses.
Nice.
And they're going to be about 15, 16 foot wide and about 36 feet long. And as I mentioned, community support. We've had some businesses in town donate material. And they're actually going to have some of their employees come in and donate some labor to show students how to rough in plumbing, how to rough in electricity, and those types of things. So I think it's a great opportunity for our kids, and it's been very successful. Almost grown too fast for us. I think we're right now, we're just kind of like, okay, we need to, I don't want to say tamp it down, but at least let's stop what we're doing, make sure what we're doing well for the community.
So kind of blew up.
Yeah, and it's been such a great to watch our students respond to these, and just to see the level of engagement that they have. And it's a way to make school, they want to come to school because they're practicing real life skills and seeing what it's like in the real world, and not having to sit in a classroom all day. It's hands-on, and it's real life experience. We're really proud of it, and we know the students are super engaged in it.
Pretty cool on this program to have learned from the start of this wave of this type of extra learning that the students from so many different community leaders, educators, and for students to learn outside of the book stuff, and see them learn, hey, this is real, this is what I could be doing maybe after high school, college.
Well, and just facing the community and having to address, when you go to pay,
customer
and
service.
they're talking to you, and those are skills that you need no matter what your job is.
Yes.
So it's been really great.
You mentioned coming up, I have it marked down for myself. I can't remember which day I signed up for, but parent-teacher conferences.
Yes.
And so obviously we all know what those are, and what you wanted to focus on is something that I think is pretty neat, and I've witnessed it firsthand because I've had several kids in the Charleston School District, student-led conferences, K through 8.
Yeah, that's new.
Last
year we started that with everybody.
And why that approach?
Really?
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Really tying that into Leader in Me program, and it's just students taking more ownership in their learning, whether you're in kindergarten or you're an 8th grader. That's a chance for them to set goals, show their parents, this is where I am right now with my learning, this is where I hope to be, and this is how I'm going to get there. So instead of the teacher doing most of the talking, we want the students to do the talking as well, speaking to the parents, let them know, but then the teacher will be there also to support the students and give additional input.
Yeah, as part of our competency-based initiative too, we work with students in the classroom to really take ownership of their own learning, and to be able to say, these are my strengths, and we all have things to work on, and to be able to name those, and that's okay. I just need to practice these things, and I haven't learned them yet. And so we're teaching students in the classroom to be able to not only know what those are, but to be able to explain them to someone else and just take more ownership. So we've transitioned to all student-led conferences, K through 8.
Okay, very good. We always talk about the buildings because you gotta have the buildings to do the learning in. So what are the latest facility improvements or things that have been going on? I know I wanted to follow up on one that I asked before we talk about the specific schools. New school district offices, is that still a plan moving forward?
That's timely. Well, let's start with the schools themselves. So we've been doing a lot of I wouldn't call this exciting work, but a lot of roof work. But since we've talked last, the whole 400 wing at Charleston High School, which I think every student at some point in the day has been renovated, along with the media center and some other areas. That had not been renovated since, I believe, it was built in 1975, so long overdue. And I think it gives students a sense of pride when they see nice furniture, nice facilities, things like that. Also finished up the A&M Center, which, we have well over half our students are out there every day. So right now we're just doing some maintenance projects, looking ahead. So we are looking at some changes at this district office. Right now I'm just going to say you need to stay tuned for that one. But looking to move out of this building into something more modern and something really more friendly for not only our community but our staff. Mrs. Holly leads a lot of professional development, and we frankly just don't have the space here to bring in 40 or 50 teachers at a time.
Yeah,
we need to have
room.
some space. We need some space. Parking and things like that.
Share with the driver's facility.
Yes.
Once in a while that gets to be a problem. So.
Okay. Very good. Stay tuned to that. I know my daughter has enjoyed all the renovations at Charleston High School.
They're so
very
good.
jealous
Yes.
of her.
Yeah, the media center is so. If you've not been in there, it's it's a favorite spot of the students. It's pretty.
We hope to continue one of our local programs. We have a student of one of our staff, Braden Armstrong. He's a school talk, I know I'm going to be contacting Mr. Locke to see if we could utilize that space. I think that would be a great backdrop for that show.
Absolutely, and I'm sure he would gladly host it.
All right, very good. In our last minute or two, anything else you'd like to share about the 2025-26 school year? Moving forward.
We just always have great things going on here. One of the things we talked about at the beginning of the school year is just continuing to do all the things we're already doing well, not adding more new stuff, but let's just keep growing the things we're already doing well and just keep getting better at those things. So no major changes as far as for parents to look for in their kids' instruction or grades or anything. We're just going to keep doing what we're doing and just keep getting better at it.
I'd echo that. I think with teaching, and we've had a lot of changes with CBE and Leader in Me, and these are big initiatives. And I think it takes time just for it. We may be comfortable with it, but parents and students really learning how to use these types of things. I think the other thing that's really blown up is our internship program. We went from just having a couple dozen interns to over 100 interns this year, and it's gotten so big. It's tough to manage that because we want to get out in the community with businesses to see how our students are doing. We got 100 students out there. That's a lot of visits. But I think it's a good partnership with our students and the businesses they're working in, because they're basically getting a chance to interview someone to see if they want to keep them on for a long time employment.
And internships are kind of like all the other
That's right.
extra things that you're talking about. You get exposure to different
That's
things. And
learning in real life experiences. And I think for a high school student to sometimes learn what you don't want to do. It's easy to say, this is the job I want for the rest of my life, but then they go out and shadow somebody or work with somebody and go, oh, it's not what I thought.
Yeah.
And so it's better to make that decision when you're 17 than when you've paid 4 years of a college tuition and decide you don't want to do that. So we're trying to help kids at the high school get on the job experience, get out and figure it out before you decide what you want to do.
Figure it out. Maybe that tunnel gets a little bit narrower to figure out what I really want to do.
Like I said, sometimes it's about what you don't want, figuring out what you don't want to do.
All right. Chad and Kristen with the Charleston School District. Always great talking with you guys, and have a great rest of your 2025-26 school year. Always a pleasure talking with you guys.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Awesome. And coming up next here on City Spotlight, we'll continue this new episode on Charleston. We'll talk EIU and specifically EIU Athletics with Athletic Director Tom Michael. But first, let's take a look at some of the upcoming activities going on in Charleston. And we're back here on City Spotlight, this latest City Spotlight episode featuring Charleston as we continue the start of season 12. We've changed locations. We're now on the campus of Eastern Illinois University. We're taping inside here on the campus of EIU at McAfee Gym. We'll talk about this location and why it looks maybe a little bit different than years past. We are pleased to welcome first time to the program, the Director of EIU Athletics, Tom Michael. Tom,
thank you.
Pleasure to have you on.
Appreciate being here.
Glad to have Tom on. I believe I've interviewed you previously. It was during that EIU COVID special way back in the day when we couldn't be near each other. So
thank goodness that's behind us.
Yes, behind us. We're here, present, and look forward to talking about this new renovation to McAfee, why it looks this way, and we'll do that in just a second. A lot of people know who you are, Tom, but for a few folks at home that might not, tell us about yourself, please.
Yeah, this is my 12th year being at EIU as the athletic director. It's been a great time. We've gone through a lot, COVID obviously, and when I got here, we were going through some budget things and the impasse and things like that, and we've managed to get through that, and honestly, very excited about where the program's at, where the department's at. We've got some momentum from fundraising. We've got a great group of coaches. Our student athletes have always represented us well. So really excited about where the health of the department, if you will, is at right now, and kind of what the future can bring for us too.
Obviously, folks at home may know you. You obviously played Division I basketball at the University of Illinois, and you also held some positions at the U of I in athletics. So when the time came to look, maybe, hey, the job at EIU is open, why did you choose EIU?
Yeah, I spent 5 years as a student athlete in Champaign, and then I worked there for 18 years after I was done playing. And my whole piece of being in athletic administration has always geared around the student athlete experience. It was an unbelievable time for me. Wasn't always perfect, and that's what I tell recruits. It doesn't have to be perfect. Every day is not going to be great because life isn't, but the opportunity to provide a vision and a mission to help student athletes be in a position to be more successful when they leave our institution with a degree in their hand, that's what motivates me every day, and really excited to be able to engage with our student athletes and our coaches to really think about them as individuals and not just athletes. And I think we do a pretty good job of that, and we constantly are trying to make decisions to get that better too.
Thank you. On this program, we interview community leaders, mayors, educators. First time interviewing a college athletic director, so I thought I'd get a chance to ask you this question. Give our audience a little insight. What are some of the role responsibilities that you do as an athletic director?
Oh yeah, I think what people see is, hey, you get to go to games, and you get to interact in that way, which is really, really good. But behind the scenes, there's just a lot of things that go into it, and no day is the same, and that's what really excites me. There's not a monotonous piece to it. You never know what the day is going to bring, and our environment has changed pretty significantly, quite frankly, over the last 3, 4, 5 years with NIL and with the transfer portal, and so there's a lot of moving pieces. The NCAA is going through some reform with governance, and the Power 4 conferences, where are they going to end up, and where does that leave us? And just a lot of things going on in our industry that you're trying to stay ahead of, so that too many times you'd like to be in control, but there's not enough things that you do get to control. But those that you can, you want to be, you don't want to always be reactionary. You want to have some plan in place, and that's what we're trying to get to.
I'm a big sports geek at heart. We could probably do the whole episode talking about that in further detail, because there's probably about 5 billion follow-ups I could ask you about NIL and everything, but let's continue on here. This is an episode on Charleston. We featured EIU many, many times on this program in 12 seasons of City Spotlight. So EIU is a part of Charleston. So what is the role of EIU Athletics to Charleston?
Oh, I think we take it very seriously. I think there's a significant responsibility there for us to bring quality individuals to campus. We've got approximately 450 student athletes. They need to be quality individuals that represent who we are. But then I think there's a component there that, how do we bring energy to the community? How do we bring some uplifting pieces with our competitiveness of our teams? On a football Saturday, what does that look like, and how does that impact the Charleston community? And so there's a component there that hopefully not only just athletics, but the institution and the community understand the value that each other bring to allow the Charleston community and EIU be successful, because it can't work in silos. It's just not possible for either entity to have the success that it needs, and I've seen that continue to grow closer in the 12 years that I've been here.
We're going to talk about your specific facilities here in just a second, specifically this one here that we're taping at here at McAfee Gym. But EIU Athletics makes Charleston a destination for many things EIU Athletics and EIU Athletics, like the state track meets. Talk about EIU Athletics helping put Charleston on the map for things like that.
Yeah, I think there's a responsibility for us with those types of events. Just recently had the Coles County Clash, and we've done that for, I don't know, 12 or 13 years now, maybe. And I think that's great for both Charleston High School and Mattoon High School. It's great for EIU. It's great for all of that to take place here. It's great to bring other folks to Charleston. And it just happens to be around some sporting events.
Yes.
And how we can manage that, I think, is really, really good. And then it's a benefit for everybody.
All right. We're taping here on September 29th, didn't mention that off the top, and we are taping at McAfee Gym, one of the facilities here at EIU. Held many things through the years, and it recently became the new home of EIU Volleyball, if you couldn't tell by all the blue behind us. Just recently hosted its first 2 matches here, regular season matches. Talk about this idea, how it came to be, and why McAfee was the right place to become the new home of EIU Volleyball.
Yeah, I think it really started with a vision with President Gatrell. When he got here, he looked at the entire building, quite frankly, and said, it's really too prime of real estate on our campus not to be utilized more.
Right.
And so his vision was to put volleyball in here. Obviously having some experience up in Champaign where they have volleyball in Huff Hall. Certainly gave us some thoughts that, hey, we can turn this into something like that as well. And so it's really been a good experience from that perspective. And the Gardella family has made it possible. If Joe Gardella doesn't buy into the vision that we have for the facility, then it makes it a lot more challenging to be able to get this done. And hosting it this weekend, we still have a few things to continue to work on to get better.
You just did something for the first time.
Yes, and we're always looking to try to improve it. And by the next home game in a couple weeks, we'll have tweaked a few more things. So we're looking forward to that.
It'll be 5% better.
Yes.
All right, very good. Let's talk about your other athletic facilities. Obviously, in recent years, Groninger Arena, formerly Lance Arena, changed names. You have O'Brien Field, you have the baseball and the softball fields. Talk about your other athletic venues and any recent renovations you've had. Maybe specifically, let's talk about Groninger changing names here recently.
Yeah, a couple years ago we had the opportunity to honor Jerry Groninger and the support that he has given and that he's pledged for the department in a obviously a pretty specific way, putting his name on the arena that way. And really appreciative of all of his support that he's given to the program. And I think that there will continue to be things that we can get done in that space that will make it better as the years come along as well. And then, we're trying to hit each facility in some specific ways. We've done a lot of work over at soccer. We've done some work over at baseball, and we're excited to be able to just recently at the Board of Trustees meeting, that name is going to now be Frost Field over at baseball. So we've got the exterior done. The timeline right now is for in the spring there will be lights at baseball for the first time.
Wow.
So we're excited about that project moving forward. We've done some things over at O'Brien with the new scoreboard and the new turf. We've got some ideas that we're going to try to do over at softball yet this fall. So it's a constant that you're trying to make sure that that's part of that student athlete experience.
Correct.
Is the facilities that they compete, practice on, they're in there every day, and how can we just keep making them better?
Obviously, you can't fix them all at once or give them that attention. All right, I want to end, Tom, here with kind of a highlight, something that I'm pretty excited to ask you about. As we know, EIU, Eastern Illinois Athletics, is a Division I participant, and although it may be small in size, you have some pretty big named alumni. 2 Junes ago, you had some of your big names in EIU football come back for a great event. I read social media all the time, and it wows me to see that people are still blown away that person played or coached at EIU. Talk about having those big names for such a small school.
Yeah, it is kind of overwhelming at times when you think about the offensive prowess in the history of the NFL. and you've got Mike Shanahan, and you now look at the tree that he has from coaches that were under him that are now head coaches. You look at the success that Sean Payton has had, and his offensive mind. So there's two individuals there that are incredible. And you listen to Tony on the television, and the way he describes the plays, it makes you feel like he's in the living room with you.
He did a great job calling the Chiefs game yesterday.
There you go. And then Jimmy has, the first time I got to meet Jimmy was when he came back here. And so it is overwhelming when you think of the history of the NFL and the offensive opportunities that have been created through that. But then probably with the Weekend of Champions event that we had, as great of an event it was for everybody,
right.
The part that was equally satisfying to me is that's the first time those four guys have been in the same room together. And for us to be able to provide the opportunity, and it wasn't in some hotel suite in Vegas or wherever.
Right.
It was right back here on campus for those four to come back, for those four to spend the weekend together, the first time that they've all sat around a table and talked. They were super excited about that.
Right.
And that fills your heart too, that you were able to connect those dots. And Mike Murray's done a great job of coordinating that. So our staff did an unbelievable job with that, but from that perspective, it was really satisfying that weekend to see those guys enjoy it almost as much as everybody else did.
Thank you for letting us film it for historical purposes, and we were able to share it on WEIU, so it's out there on our YouTube page to relive that, because it was honestly a magical night to hear all those stories. And obviously there's slews of great EIU athletes through the years. Obviously Eastern Illinois, 130 years old, there's so many athletes and so many great sports that we didn't name, but I just thought I'd ask you that about some of the great names of EIU alumni you have.
Yeah, and those four are obviously the ones that stand out the most. Particularly, they all played the same position,
right.
And where their prowess is. But yes, I mean the history, particularly in that program, has been very, very storied. Now, Coach Wilkerson's won a game at Western Illinois. See if we can keep this thing moving this fall.
Momentum is a good thing. Director of Athletics here at Eastern Illinois University, Tom Michael. Tom, it's been a pleasure having you on the program.
Thank you.
Best of luck the rest of this athletic season.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And that'll do it for our latest City Spotlight episode on Charleston. Thanks for watching. City Spotlight on WEIU TV is underwritten by the Illinois Arts Council, a state agency